Alright guys, I think I'm finally onto something. So I've got that big buck McQueen, that big, beautiful 10-pointer. Been trying to figure him out for about 3 years. He's somewhere between 6.5 and 7. He's about 140 inch, nothing super special as far as antlers go, other than he's got good mass, and he's perfectly symmetrical, and it's just something about that deer that attracts me. Anyways, I just picked up a bedding spot right over here. Let's see if we can see it. Right over here, right on the edge of the cliff. You can look up behind me here. It's all cliffed up behind me. It's a little ledge right there, and it looks out over the valley. It's got great cover, good wind in here. There's a beaten path heading back and forth to that hub back there with the scrape. And then off the bedding over here, there's all kinds of small little spider trails coming up and down the side of that ledge. I think this may be his bedding. And then right over here, there's a big tree ripped up, and when I grab my backpack, we're gonna grab that and we're gonna head down. We just placed a camera right there. You can see one of my wild views is right here. And it's facing, I'll give you a view exactly what it's looking at. It's facing down right there, right at that bedding. And it's back here, probably about 25 yards back, and it's in a spot that he's not going to see it. It's in this spruce tree, hidden really well, and we're going to wrap up this strap and grab our backpack, and I'll show you that rub that's over here right next to this bedding. And then there's rubs all the way up through, so I'm pretty sure we've got it. And it's about 125 yards from that hub, and I get daytime pictures of him there in September and early October. So this may be my Rosetta Stone right here. This is pretty exciting. Here we go. Alright guys, I got my gear back in the bag, backpack's on, camera's up here behind us on that tree, and I'm going to show you this rub real quick in this bed, and then we're going to get out of here. You can see on this tree right here, it's a pretty good size. It's a striped maple, but it's you know, that big around. Pretty good one coming off this bed right here. Now here's the beds. There's one right here, there's one right there, there's one right there, there's a big one right there, and I think that's the one he lays in the most. And he's got, look at the view. He's got this whole valley. He can see all the way out through here really good. Not only that, but he's got a perfect west wind right here. And he's got good back cover right there. And if you look up here, it's a sheer cliff up behind him, and it comes over here and it drops right off on the other side. And he can escape right off here, right down into the valley. Or he can go back this way, right out through. It's a perfect spot. It is textbook buck bedding at its finest. So let's get out of here. We'll say goodbye to our wild view right there in the tree. Now I hate setting cameras on beds like this, but we're still early. These bucks, these deer, no, up here yet. So. Alright guys, quick word of advice. If you're out scouting midsummer and you find a bedding situation like that one, I don't suggest putting a camera on it at that time. You see, the deer have been using that bed for a while, and they've become pretty accustomed to everything that's there. Any change you make, you break a branch, you put a camera, they're going to notice it, and more than likely, if it's an adult, mature buck, he's going to abandon that bed and not use it again. Sometimes it takes up to, it can be 30 days, sometimes it's a whole year before they'll go back. So I have a special situation here that's different than a lot of you, is the fact that the deer migrate off the mountain for the winter, and they don't move back in until about mid-June. I'll start seeing little trickles of does and smaller deer earlier on, but the big bucks generally don't get back here until mid-June. That's when I start getting all my good pictures of big bucks in here. So by putting that camera where I did just now in May, when he gets back, they have a sense that things change over the winter. They're used to seeing it through the woods, trees falling down, you know, clear cuts, all that stuff, and they get used to it. So anything that's changed back there, right there now, he's going to come in, he's going to accept that change, and he's going to be used to that change. And he's not going to abandon that bedding area. So I won't go back and check that camera until November, until the rut, when he's done using that area. Because once the rut comes, they're moving around. They're really not using those beds. And even if I go back there, they're kind of rut crazed, so it's not going to affect him all that much. And even if it does, he's going to leave the mountain that winter, and he's going to come back and accept that bedding spot again. So that's a quick word of advice for you. Just play it safe and wait till next year to put that in. All right? Thanks a lot.